assault and batteries, but my trunk stay ever ready. Yep. Assault and battery, if you scared, you never ready. Yep.
Alright, today's video is going to be about the major returns that have been going on in the WWE over the last couple weeks, and most notably, SummerSlam. You had the return of Randy Orton, who has, I believe the last time we saw him was at WrestleMania when he lost to Cody Rhodes, and long-awaited return. I think everyone was expecting Randy Orton to come back at this show. You were expecting somebody huge, but one person I was not expecting to return was Kevin Owens, and you saw him during the SummerSlam Access, their little meet and greet sessions. He was popping up here and there with the Sami Zayn shirt on, but I did not think for a second that he was going to make his return in the way he did. It went from a one-on-one match to a triple threat to now a fatal four-way, and for him to come out and actually win, which was incredible. And you really got to hand it to Triple H when it comes to that, because he has his core group of guys that he established in NXT. And those guys have kind of had his back, and he's had their back for almost 10 years now. And those guys are always the ones, just like Vince had his guys with The Undertaker. You had The Rock, Austin, Kane, Big Show. These were all guys that Vince McMahon could always lean on when there's problems. Give the belt to the Big Show, give the belt to Kane, give the belt to The Undertaker. They can do what they need to do. And even John Cena is another perfect example where creative's in a slump, just give them the ball and they'll run with it. So Triple H has established his core group of guys, and for so long, I remember the NXT era especially, it was like Finn Balor, you had Samoa Joe, you had Bobby Roode, you had Nakamura, you had Kevin Owens, you had Sami Zayn. These guys were like the elite of the elite, and they were the ones that I thought were going to really take the WWE to the next level when they obviously reached the main roster. But NXT is a lot different than what WWE was, and things didn't obviously work out the way I guess a lot of people would have hoped for a lot of those guys, but guys like Kevin Owens, guys like Finn Balor, even Nakamura to an extent, they really lived up to their potential. Maybe not fully, but they definitely were able to win a world title. They were able to be relevant even 10 years after, being on NXT. And just thinking of how many guys have cycled through the main roster and have left, went to AEW, have retired, have gone to the Indies, and maybe on good terms, bad terms with WWE. There's a lot of guys who stuck around, and I'm glad Kevin Owens is one of those guys who stuck around, because I do feel it's a miracle, it really is, that he was able to come back from this injury that was obviously deemed career threatening, and he came back and he's right back in the title picture. And I think that's what WWE needs right now, is fresh faces like Randy Orton, like Kevin Owens, even like an LA Knight, for example, like guys who they need to put the title on someone else who hasn't had it in ever or in a long time. I think just kind of tossing it between Punk and Cody and Drew and Roman and Seth, it's fine. I'm not saying it's bad. It's a bad thing. To be honest, like I talked about the Roman and Seth match being probably the match of the year right now. But just to see new and fresh faces in the title picture, it really gets the fans intrigued. So I think Kevin Owens is going to be a crucial part of like what the WWE is going to rely on from, we're in August, which is kind of like the low period, I think, in WWE from now until the Royal Rumble. It's kind of, I guess they call it quarter four, and it's not always the best. So we'll see what happens. And then again, then you have Enzo and Cass. Cass debuted or returned this past Monday. AEW was never a big fit for Cass. It was awkward. It was weird. He just didn't fit in with like what they have a vision for. And the thing is, Tony Khan, I think it's kind of apparent that he is not a fan of bigger wrestlers, taller, whatever. He is the guy who's, the cruiserweights. He likes lucha libre, he likes flips, he likes dives, he likes hardcore, he likes your average size wrestler. So if you're bigger than life, if you're larger than life, if you look like a superstar, you will not excel in AEW, and that's the unfortunate truth. So for Cass to come back to the WWE, I think it fits, and I'm not like mad about like him leaving AEW, but just I've been saying it for so long, AEW's roster is so overpacked that I think guys do need to leave, and they do need to like cycle guys out into the indies or somewhere else, because you can't have that much talent and just not know what to do with them, because AEW probably has 10 guys on their roster that I can think of off the top of my head that can be the face of the company. So you have these guys who are kind of like floating around, not doing much, but there's going to come a time, I think, where a lot more guys from AEW are going to jump ship. And especially now a lot of these older guys are now retiring. You got Seth Rollins, you have Roman, you have Cody probably on his last contract, you have Drew, Punk. You know, these guys are just five, to name five of them. They're on their last maybe 5 to 10 years of their career. So to see what happens in the next 10 to 15, it's going to be telling. And I think you're going to see guys like Braun Breaker, you're going to see guys like Dominic Mysterio, Chad Gable, Penta, even Rey Fenix kind of rise to the occasion. So it's a cool time, I think, to be a wrestling fan in general, but more specifically a WWE fan, because you do see a lot of these older, more seasoned guys really coming back and making an impact right away. So we'll see what happens leading up into the next pay-per-view, and let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you guys in the next one.